The most important part of your live show happens hours before the show, and that's the sound check. This episode's about the sound check. How's that for an intro? When I was growing up playing in punk and hardcore bands, we just didn't have a sound check. You rock up to the gig, you plug your shit in when it's your turn to play, you go, okay, can I hear it? Can we hear the guitar? Cool. Drums? Awesome. The drums are usually never mic'd. Then eventually we would get booked on bigger shows and we would get a sound check and not know what the hell to do. And in that case, it was the sound guy running us through it. Okay, let me hear the kick, snare, tom, all right, bass. And we would just go, okay, can you hear me? Cool. And that basically is just a line check. It wasn't until I joined the Rumjacks that I started really taking sound checks seriously, especially with the Rumjacks when we have the folk instruments, you have acoustic guitars, you have different elements coming in and out throughout the set. You really have to make sure that everything's sounding good. And when it gets to that part in the set, you're not gonna just be left high and dry going, oh, I can't hear my guitar. You just don't want that to happen, especially when it's in front of a lot of people. So tonight we're playing in Vienna, Austria at this awesome venue called Arena. Yo! What's up?
What's the rest of the band?
They're at the hotel.
Okay.
So I threw my camera up for sound check and did my best to kind of capture our process of how we sound check for an actual gig. Now, we are lucky enough to have our manager be our sound guy. He does our front of house. So I caught up with him, asked him some questions. He's been in the industry for, I don't know, over 20 years or something. So he's the guy to talk to. So here's Luca's interview.
I'm the Rumjacks tour manager, sound engineer, band manager, babysitter, and what else?
So you've been doing sound over 22 years or so. What are the worst mistakes that bands make sound checking?
Yeah, generally what they do is like they want to check all together instead of waiting for input from the sound engineer, being like, okay, bass, cool, like the levels, then next one, guitar. Sometimes they just go one on top of the other and it's a bit of mess.
Explain real quick difference between front of house and monitors.
Okay, front of house is basically you control the sound for the audience. Stage monitors, there's another desk exactly like this one, and they control the sound of single monitors, drum fill, in-ears.
What do we usually do? What's our process?
So the process is just we just do the loading without the band. We put all the stuff on stage. The local guys connect everything, and me and the backliner do the line check and sound check without the musician because everything is already saved. So it's pretty easy, unless you can't plug your own desk like today. So I have a new desk here that I have to work with. No problems, I know how to use it.
Like what's a line check and when will a band use a line check?
Yeah, line check is really common during festivals because as you may imagine, there's no time between bands to do a sound check. Line check is just the sound guy goes front of house, headphones or even not headphones, just check the levels, right? Very quick, and then you're ready to go. That means the show starts on the festival, front of house needs to be quick to correct little mistakes, or not mistakes, just imperfections on the sound. Full sound check is just, you have time in the morning when it's your club show, for example, you get there, do the loading. Full sound check means like you can go through everything, make sure the sound in the room is good. Usually when you do sound check with the empty room, it sounds different because when you got people in the room, the people is absorbing the sound in a way.
Oh shit! Oh, that's Johnny's bass strap. It's fucking coated in sweat. It's still wet. We even played a show in like, when was the last show? 4 days ago? Check. Check. 1, 2.
Check, 1, 2, check! Ayo! I am a poor wayfaring stranger.
His vocals are louder than theirs.
Oh, okay.
Check.
More drums?
Yes, please. Thank you.
You guys on my ride want to try to get higher, like time again or whatever, to see the levels are cool.
Kick. More in the side. That's it. Everything else. In the side.
Alright, try again. Can I get main vocals and my vocals up?
Now, some of the mistakes that I see bands doing is, first of all, sound checking for way too long. Our sound check is anywhere between 15 to 30 minutes long. Luca usually brings his sound desk. He has all the settings in, so we're able just to run through pretty systematically. Depending on the venue, we have to adjust levels and stuff like that. But I'm not gonna name names, but we played with a band that sound checked for 3 hours. It was insane. I don't even know what they could have been going over. And that being said, yes, it is important to make sure you get your sound right so that you go on stage confidently, you know what's gonna happen. But 3 hours, dude, that's insane.
This is our in-ear system that we use on tour. It's for Mike, Adam, and Gabe, and then we have a spare one unit just in case. So this is really helpful, especially in small venues when you don't have like good wedges. Sometimes this machine saves life for musicians, so it's good to have it. Proper antenna.
So a lot of times if you watch a band, they'll look over and kind of point. They'll usually point to the guitar, point to the drummer, point to someone up in the monitors, and you can catch it. If you start paying attention, you'll see bands doing that. Yeah, so that's basically our processes of how we go through our sound check. It's a super important part of our stage show because we have all the weird instruments. Sometimes it seems like you're being a prima donna or high maintenance to be like, yo, I need more of this in my monitor. But you gotta remember, there are hundreds of people traveling all over to watch the band play. You wanna give them a good show. You want it to be worth it. You want it to be worth their money that they're spending, especially when they have to get COVID tested as well as buy a ticket to get in here. So we appreciate that. Well, that concludes a fun episode, wasn't it? Oh, take my in-ears out. Thanks for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe. No, but for real, you know what? Another lesson to be taught. Sound check. Does it ever sound like during sound check on stage?
No.
As soon as we started playing, I could not hear Gabe. Couldn't hear Adam. I
Couldn't hear you.
Yeah.
Things change when you start. Sometimes they're better than others, but sometimes you get up there and it's like you didn't do it. It didn't happen.
Yeah. Make sure to like and subscribe.